The cult of flying spaghetti monster joined today. The one true cult. Which one's that? Oh, is that the Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, do you want to give a donation for the children's book?
No, thank you. I've already...
This book is so nice. It's worth more than all innumerable material universities.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're richer than Donald Trump if you give a donation for this book.
I've already got a bigger one of those, though.
It's okay, this is Jesus journey to other planets. Travel with your mind.
But what if it's not real? What if it's all just made up?
You clearly haven't read the one you got.
Well, I tried to read it, but it seems so nonsensical.
No.
I don't believe in spirits. How can you prove that there is a spirit?
So you just think you're flesh?
Yeah.
A bag of flesh?
Yeah.
So you're a scientist?
I'm not a very good one, but I believe in reality.
Definitely not a very good one.
No.
Well, at least that was barely a humble statement.
Yeah.
I was much more humble than most Christians.
I'm not a Christian.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be trying to start a cult if you weren't a Christian.
I've already started it.
Are you going to whack everybody when you're done?
No, it's not.
They're just going to whack themselves?
No murder-suicide at the end. It's not one of those. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's always good. No, seriously, you haven't read it?
I've read it.
You didn't read it enough.
Well, I read it. I just don't believe it.
This is the point of reading it.
You don't have to believe it to read it?
No.
I mean, if you...
if you think about it, even I don't, do I really understand the Bhagavad Gita through the medium of the heart?
I understand that it preaches belief in spirits, which I don't believe in.
There's really so much preaching. I'm pretty sure it's not necessarily Krishna.
Yeah, but it says that all things have the Krishna
But you
consciousness
can't understand it with your mind.
But so there's me, right? There's me.
No, you didn't do anything wrong.
No, I'm a person, and I didn't exist until like my parents had me, and then after I died.
You entered into this specific body.
Right.
The body is not you.
No, why do you think that? The body is absolutely me, because when I feel it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I don't believe that. I believe it's what we are, and if you despise what we are, then...
No, this is material.
Right, and I am material.
You're spiritual.
No, I don't believe that.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
You're trying to convince me that we're spiritual.
No, we are.
Right.
I really don't mind.
This book wants me to believe
I do mind it from a different perspective.
Right.
I really don't mind it. It's kind of, there's this thing called love, right?
Yep.
No, you can't really force anyone to love.
Is that right?
Right?
You don't think that the North Koreans love the... I think that's the whole point in 1984, is at the end he did love the state. He was forced to love. I don't know, how do you measure love? How do you tell if someone loves something more than something else?
It's inconceivable.
Okay.
That's what Bhakti Yoga is like. You can't just I'm like a crazy Christian that's going to force you to love.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, it's really good you read that book.
Yeah. Also, it's
you already have a way better life than you did before.
It suggest that you sort of minimize your sexual encounters, right? Isn't that a sort of teaching of the?
Yeah, that's like kind of like one of those. Like sex is like very low pleasure. There's much higher pleasure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a pretty low pleasure.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Even LSDs are really low pleasure.
They're pretty high. They're pretty.
Yeah, I've done thousands of hits.
Yeah.
Thumbprints. It's pretty low pleasure.
Right, but what is a higher pleasure? There's no pleasures. There's very few higher.
Prema Bhakti, Madan Mohan. Spontaneous bliss of Godhead. Much higher.
I think they're pretty equivalent.
Pretty practical.
I mean, I've achieved love of God. Yeah, so is the love of God. God is material. What's the difference between material and spiritual?
Material energy is condensed matter.
Can you measure it?
Material energy?
Yeah.
Maybe with the mind, but that's not a very practical thing to do.
So there's no practical way to measure this idea?
Scientists, it's not really that practical, It's kind of like a useless waste of time to measure the cosmos and stuff. But, people still do it because they're, frustrated and they're trying to draw every little drop of pleasure out of everything they can. you're not really going to get much pleasure.
In reality, I find to be incredibly pleasurable.
Yeah, because you haven't experienced higher pleasures, you know what I mean?
I have.
Have you ever done drugs?
Yeah.
So the first time you did weed, that was like really pleasurable, right?
Sure was.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
And then you moved on to higher drugs, right?
Not really. I attempted LSD, but they didn't seem to be that high. Weed seems to be one of the pretty highest.
Okay, so
pleasures.
maybe you started with cigarettes?
No, skip that.
Booze?
A little bit of booze, yeah.
What got you higher, weed or booze?
It's different
You
though,
didn't do
isn't it?
enough drugs. You should do more LSD.
Yeah, and then I'll understand the pleasures of the
Yeah,
flesh.
just get rid of the meat and just.
But I have had spiritual experiences. The Creator has spoken to me in vision, so that was pleasurable, and that was quite about the same as sort of very, very good sex.
I mean, I could, regulate.
Well, but we can't because we only have one. Where were you before then?
Well, kind of, that's what we do.
Yeah.
One life.
Yeah. The soul is not
The
eternal.
body. Like everything that is kind of boring and void.
No, it's not boring. It's void. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's even worse.
It's not worse. It's not on the scale. It's oblivion. Oblivion awaits. Are you afraid of oblivion? No, I'm a realist. I'm a Pastafarian. Pardon?
It's my about
It could be. It could have been worse. No, this is what is really happening. This thing that we see, this is really happening.
The material world's a real place.
Yes, and it's the place where we exist.
Temporary.
No, there's no.
Oh, so it's forever.
No. Well,
then that makes it temporary, right?
our existence is temporary. Yes, I agree with you
This
saying
material
it.
body's temporary.
Yes.
It's like a pair of clothes.
No.
It would change.
No. Well,
Like
only if the clothes walk themselves around. It's clothes that can walk
So how
around.
does these robotics function?
There's blood in it and like electronics.
So what powers all that? What's the source of all that?
You eat food into your mouth, and then your digestive system distributes it into your bloodstream, and then those energies go all around your body.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's all made up of the same stuff as this.
Right. That's what we are.
But not everything is one though.
What do you
Not
mean?
all one.
I don't know. I don't understand your statement.
It's okay.
We're not all one. We're individuals, right? You're one, and I'm
I
another
like that. That's
one,
a good start.
Right.
That's good.
So you're one, and I'm
That's good.
another one.
Yeah, it should debate a bit of top God. Part and parcel of the supreme God.
No, I don't believe there is.
Parcel of the supreme. You said there's a creator, right?
I say that if there is a creator, we may as well call him
So
Flying
you're
Spaghetti
agnostic.
Monster. I'm an agnostic Pastafarian, other than the visions
Where do you
that
get
he's
your
given
pasta
me.
at?
Pardon?
Who's your connect? Where do you get your pasta?
I just at the supermarket. Yeah.
I didn't know if you like fly to Italy.
No, I'm trying to make it myself. It's very difficult. It's a lot more difficult than I thought.
What?
Making pasta.
Yeah, I made notes.
You need sort of
Came out almost like that.
machines. Yeah. That sounds good. You put like meat in it. Oh, not meat, but like vegetable sort of. That's cool.
What about aesthetic symbols of love of Godhead?
Pardon?
Never mind, that's too high. I shouldn't speak on those subject matters.
There is no Godhead. The Creator has died. Like, he doesn't have any input in our reality.
No, he just doesn't do what we want.
Yeah. So the Creator is a distant creator.
Do you have Kool-Aid?
No, it's bring your own Kool-Aid. I don't know why. Nobody trusts our Kool-Aid. It's weird.
Distant creator.
Yeah. If there was a creator, it happened in such a time that he has no
He's like
influence
the
over.
youngest person ever. I mean, he's the oldest, but he's the youngest. Because it's metaphysical.
I don't understand what you mean by metaphysical.
It's very dynamic.
I don't.
It's not like it's not mundane, you know. It's not like
You don't believe that mundane is?
mundane. It's not like you go to work, you come home, and you pay your bills. You know what I mean? It's not,
Well, you can do that if you want.
it's a good thing to do. It's your duty.
I guess.
Find a way to support yourself without relying on other people to take care of you.
I can see the values in that argument.
You
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to work for corporate America.
Right. There are ways
You can have like a farm or something.
there are ways to maintain yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, leaning on the machine or participating in
I think
it.
it's worse than
Yeah.
being part of the machine.
But if I don't believe that we are a spirit, if I do believe that we are a emergent property of this meat, I can't believe in the things that
So
the
you
rest
believe in
of
the Big Bang, right?
I don't know if I believe in the Big Bang. They could be wrong about that.
It's pretty practical except to an extent.
Yeah, but I mean,
That Mahavishnu has breathed out the whole entire material universe.
a lot of people are taking, a lot of religions take credit for the Big Bang idea. I think that. What do you mean?
This is not religion.
It sure is.
It sure is.
What's the
So
difference?
what you're preaching is religion.
It absolutely is. Yeah.
So irreligion, actually.
Well, perhaps atheism is irreligion, and I'm not preaching
No.
irreligion.
Atheism is still actually the atheist actually still worships Krishna, but he worships Krishna.
I believe that a lot of atheists disagree.
No, they do. It's cool. Cool with that. The experience Krishna is cool with that. Cool. I mean, Krishna's not cool.
Why not?
Because he has no reason to be.
He has no reason to be at all.
He's just like emanating so much love. It's just not possible for him to be true.
You don't believe that evil comes from Krishna as well? You believe that the
Evil's just
duality,
like
dual
evil.
gods?
Evil's kind of like.
Who creates evil?
There's no system in it.
Is that right?
I mean, there's like fucked up nasty things that happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do we
It's
call
like,
that?
It's just like kind of like. It's not real.
It is real though.
But it happens, but it's not real. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I mean, like if someone were to die, that would really have happened. Yeah, like if someone were to murder somebody else.
You can kill the soul.
I'm not talking about the soul because I don't believe
That's
in
just
it.
that's his body.
Yeah, that we can kill that.
The body?
Yeah.
You could just kill his body
Right, and that's evil.
It's not very nice.
Correct. It's on the other spectrum. It's on the other
If you make
side.
someone else suffer, you're gonna end up suffering.
Right, to make someone else.
Do you agree with that statement?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
It's probable. Most
like if I go,
probable.
If I go smack that lady, you think
Right.
I'm not gonna suffer because of that.
I think you can
In some way or other.
Some way or other, but the thing is, good behavior also can cause suffering as well.
Well, it's because it's not just within the heart. Material desires within the heart.
But material
Material
desires,
attachments.
yeah, but those are allowed and expected in the material world.
This is not a good thing.
But it's not evil.
What, material desires?
Yeah.
It's like contamination.
But no, because I materially desire energy into my body, and so I eat food.
Yeah, me too, but I don't eat it in material means.
No, but you eat the material.
I eat sanctified food,
Right, but it's still material.
but I don't actually eat it, I honor it. It's not material.
The food that you
It
eat,
becomes purified.
and it also is pure, but it's pure material. It's like a sandwich in your mouth.
Yeah, but you can't really see what it actually is, because you don't have the eyes and the ears.
I do have eyes and ears.
No, you do, but you don't have the eyes and ears to
I do.
see.
I have these two eyes.
The senses are, but they're not perfect senses, you know?
I agree with that.
Yeah, they're imperfect senses.
Right. So you're saying perfect eyes and ears?
Yeah, perfect senses.
So perfect senses could see spirit. Is what you're saying?
Perfect senses, you're completely absorbed in the spiritual world, it's samadhi and trance.
But I don't believe in
So
spirit.
have you ever been like in a mundane materialistic LSD trance?
Well, I suppose something similar. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can, with the Vedic mantra, you can enter into the spiritual world and be in a real trance, in samadhi.
Why? What's the difference between that trance?
Because it's not visible with the eyes and the ears, doesn't mean it's not there. Just like bacteria, you can't see without a telescope.
Yeah, but
right?
you can still see it with your eyes, like
You gotta have
through a
a
telescope.
yeah.
Right. So are there
But
things?
they're mechanical means.
Yeah. They right. So are there any means that we
But you
can
can't look
measure
any.
spirit?
Sorry, measure spirit?
Yeah. Is there any means to measure spirit, like any mechanical means?
I mean, it's unlimited. It's transcendental, so it's not up and down. It's not like so much variegated. It's duplistic world full of dualities. It's just like ever increasing.
Is it? I thought it's getting
increasing.
colder.
Spiritual energy?
Yeah, I thought the whole universe is getting colder. It's sort of.
The material universe isn't the spiritual world. it comes from the spiritual world, so in a sense it is spiritual energy, but at the end of the day it's still material.
I don't understand. I don't understand how material...
I don't understand either.
Well, then why do you believe it?
Why? Because it's real.
How do you know?
Because I've read this book, and because
the book claims it's real?
It's not something you can understand with your mind.
Well, how would I understand it?
By reading the book, because it springs automatically.
See, but I read the book, but I don't believe in the things
so you just gotta keep reading it.
Until I believe it?
It's not about believing it, you just keep reading it until you have the experience.
Do you not
it's
think
as simple as reading, just keep reading it, and something will happen.
This is Christians and Muslims that claim similar things. Mormons claim similar things.
Yeah, but
how can I tell the difference between the experience that I will
They
receive?
want you to like go to their temple and give them donations.
So do you. You've already asked.
No, I really don't. I just wanted you to give a donation so I could get more of these and distribute more of these.
Right.
Yeah, but if you don't want to, it's fine.
No, I understand, but you did ask.
Yeah, but it was from a different perspective. They were doing it to line the pockets.
Right, but I mean, what's the difference?
Ignorance.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Bonafide? By who?
By sure problem.
But I don't believe in that.
It's okay.
No,
I'm not trying. I don't want you to believe in anything.
You do. You want me to believe that this book is correct?
No, I don't.
You're fine with me believing that.
Just read it and you'll have an experience.
And then after that experience, I'll believe that the book is correct.
I just like want you to have a good time. So I just want you to enjoy it.
I've had many experiences in that book.
You, like, enjoy the book.
Mostly the angry. I don't enjoy that book. It's full of lies. Yeah, that book makes me angry.
I think you're misunderstanding what
the book that I have suggests that people don't have sex, and that makes it a sex cult.
That's the highest standard.
Right, but
doesn't mean you have to.
Right, but it says that you should.
It's the highest standard.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's not a bad thing to say that you should.
No, it is a bad thing because then you're sex shaming.
You don't have to.
Right, but if you don't, you're weaker.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Then why wouldn't you do the highest
actually,
standard?
if you read one word, you're like way better than 99% of the world.
I've read it.
Yeah, you are way better than like 99% of the world.
Yeah, I just don't believe that we are spirit. I don't believe in the spirit soul that each atom has.
Sorry.
Pardon?
You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe it.
It's okay, just keep reading it.
Why?
Because it's such a nice book.
I mean, nice in what way? Not nice and it contains truth.
It does, but I'm not gonna.
Do you believe that like garlic is of a dark energy? Do you believe that?
No, it's just more passion. If you want to be very passionate, eat garlic.
Why wouldn't I want to be very passionate?
I don't like passion so much, but sometimes I eat.
Why don't you like?
I'm not a fanatic.
Are you sure?
Well, sometimes you eat.
How can you tell if you're a fanatic
if I'm like
selling
a
books
crazy
on the street?
Christian coming over here with a pitchfork and telling me you're going to go to hell if you don't read this?
Or if you're trying to give me the book full of lies?
And that's not full of lies.
It is full of lies. It says that.
It says the baller on this. They're nice. They're having a great time.
Have you seen the Jehovah's Witness tracks? They seem to be having a good time as well.
They're
yeah, but they're wrong.
I mean, they're not.
Right, but that's what I'm saying about you, is you believe that there's spirit and there's not. There is the mundane. There is reality.
This is spiritual.
I know, but we're not spiritual. That idea is spiritual ideas, but we're not spiritual things.
We're marginal focus.
Pardon?
We're marginal focus.
No, we're reality. We're real.
No, we're marginal focus.
I don't think so.
You know what marginal focus is?
No, but I don't.
It's like half spiritual, half material.
Yeah, but we're not. That's what I'm saying. We're not. We're fully physical. We're material.
Yeah, no.
Why do you believe that we're not material? Why do you believe that we're more than material? What is the evidence, though, that that leads you to believe that we're not material?
Sorry?
What evidence leads you to believe that we're not material? The book?
Yes, the book.
But I think the book is claims. I don't think it's evidence for those claims.
It's kind of funny how we're just talking about this. And I didn't even plan on opening right here. This description of the living body confirms the scientific discovery that energy exists in two forms.
What two forms?
When one of them, the anti-material particle, is separated from the material
There's
body.
no anti-material in our universe. It's on the other side. Yeah, it's on the other side. If it were,
It's spiritual, but that's actually what they're referring to as spiritual. They have a lack of understanding. They don't have a full understanding.
So you believe that your
They just have a limited understanding. Science is like limited. Like science.
But your understanding is also limited because you're limited by the idea that there's spirit.
No, I'm very limited because my eyes. I'm having imperfect senses.
And your metaphor for reality uses the
Can you
spirit.
see your subtle body, which is not spirit? It's material.
I can see my body.
Yeah, but can you see have you ever astral projected? That's like a subtle body.
I don't believe in astral projection.
Take some DMT.
I believe in drugs. I believe drugs
DMT
will make you feel like it.
No, you'll astral project to the astral body.
Right.
But that's a material body.
But it's not real. It's a drug trip.
It's illusory.
Yes.
External potency.
No, it's illusory.
It's material energy.
It's an illusion.
It's material energy.
An optical illusion of the mind because you took drugs.
Just like this body and this whole world. But this is real.
No, this body is real. It's not illusory.
It is illusory. Illusory is not that it's not real. That's
Illusion.
not what that means.
Yeah, it means illusion, illusory.
Illusion is not necessarily not that it's not real.
It's an illusion.
It's bewildering. It's just bewildering energy. Material energy is bewildering.
It's
different types of illusory energy.
But they're all illusory.
What is?
They're illusory energies.
Yeah. Yoga Maya is really cool. Yeah. Internal potency, eternal illusory energy is the best. That's what I'm looking for.
Because you're looking for something that gets you higher than DMT?
Sorry?
And you're looking for an experience that's better than like DMT?
Yeah, it's right here.
And you believe it? So this is like sort of a drug quest for you?
I did so much LSD, it's not I did gallons and gallons of LSD. Like LSD was my girlfriend basically, because I would have rather had LSD than a girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. You understand? More important than the LSD, like good stuff. Would have never stopped doing LSD if it wasn't for drugs.
So
you're telling
did
me
you trade one addiction for another?
In a sense.
Cool.
It gets you really high.
Good. And you feel it's safer than how you were treating drugs previous?
Drugs don't even get you high.
They get me really high.
They don't really get me high.
That's cool.
This gets me a lot higher.
Well, that's good. If you're trying to get high, that's cool.
If you read it, you'll get really high.
I just got really angry.
Yeah, because you're trying to understand it in your mind.
Right, like I do with most books, because that's all I've got.
That's not the point, but you can't understand this book with the mind. That's the whole point of this book.
But I can understand the creator with the mind, so what do I need?
No, you just like ignore, just don't get hung up on what it says and just read it, you know what I mean?
No, I really don't. I don't understand how to do that.
You don't even necessarily have to apply anything to stuff, so you just read it.
But that's what the Mormons say about the Book of Mormon, and that's what the Christians say about the Bible. Is they say that if you read it, you'll begin to understand it, and you'll know that it's
churches that know Mormons or Christians?
Yeah, I talk.
Insane?
Well, I mean, they're in the street. I talk to everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be rude.
No, it's okay. I might be insane though. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell.
I mean, you are a little bit.
Right?
But you're doing better than I do.
A little bit.
You're an agnostic.
Yeah. But if there was a creator, you definitely could look like the floating spaghetti monster. Yeah.
No, there's Krishna says that he has unlimited forms. So there might be a spaghetti monster like expand out his other Krishna.
Right.
So like if you worship the spaghetti monster, you'll go to the spaghetti monster.
Right.
Like when this life is over, you'll go to the spaghetti monster.
Right, and where there's strippers and beer volcanoes, so it's gonna be really good.
No, it'd probably be a little more hellish.
It's gonna be really nice. What do you mean by hellish?
You gotta understand this planet has hellish parts of the planet, right? So like you go to Iraq and there's wars, right?
Right.
It's pretty hellish, right?
I don't know. It really depends on what hell's like.
It's not very pleasant. Hellish,
it's not pleasant.
Generally speaking, is something that's not really pleasant.
I guess, unless hell's really nice.
I'm not referring to like Christian.
Oh, okay.
That's like a really hellish part of the world.
Yeah, I do understand that.
Like a practical, like, this kind of standpoint.
Right.
So like Iraq or Syria, it's probably not a pleasant place to be.
Or like just a hot place.
It's hot, like bombs,
100 degrees.
Drones, and like people dying and shit. You know what I mean?
Do you think people will die
and bullshit.
Yeah.
And like people shooting heroin because they don't want to be there. And like carrying guns and driving tanks and shit. You know what I mean? That's not like the fun place.
Like a violent place, yeah.
So that's kind of like some of the planets in the material world, or like the whole planet's like that. And then like you go to like the Mediterranean Sea where everything's just like laid back and like beautiful and relaxed and like heaven. There's planets in the material universe that are like that too.
Right, but that's just pleasant. Like that's the thing.
It's
We
like
have it
very
here.
opulent and so much like
Right, but
pleasure,
we're not going.
pleasure.
We're not going to go there after we're here.
You go according to where your conscience is.
No, your spirit is not a thing. It goes nowhere. What do you mean?
After this,
It's not in existence.
that'd be really shitty.
Well, was it shitty before you were born?
What?
Existence.
When I was in the womb?
No, before that.
That's okay. So that's technically before I was born.
Right, before the womb even.
I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah, no. Because
It
when
wasn't
you come out of the
unpleasant,
womb is like so traumatic. The birth is like so traumatic you forget your past life.
Death's going to be like that too.
What? Traumatic?
Just like being born.
Well, when Yamaraj comes and rips you out of, not for you, your death won't be so bad.
Wait, what are you saying about the future?
When you die, it won't be so bad.
Right.
Because you read Prabhupada's books.
And oblivion is not bad.
But you're not gonna have a birth. You're gonna take a better birth. Either in a wealthier family or.
That's impossible. Those things you're saying are impossible.
No, it's okay. You can say it's impossible.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it's kind of like the Middle Ages, where you know what I mean. Things are a lot more dark than they are now. Like there's still a lot of like.
What do you mean by dark?
Like there was a lot more ignorance in the Middle Ages than there is now, right?
Right. So ignorance is
There's
like.
still like a shitload of ignorance left over from the Middle Ages, though.
Right, because some people still believe
Shitload.
in ghosts and spirits.
No, ghosts are real.
No, that's ignorance from
No,
the Middle Ages.
No, it's not.
Well, why do you believe that? No, it's not. There's no spirit. You don't have a spirit. You're
A ghost is not a spiritual thing. It's a material body. Well,
But they're not real.
The soul of the ghost is a spiritual thing. Like,
But neither
the
of
ghost
them
itself is
exist.
a subtle material body.
No, it doesn't exist. The ghost is not a thing. It's not real. Why? How do you know this? Yeah. What is your evidence that it is real?
Sorry?
What is your evidence that the spirit is real? I don't know what those words mean. Oh, because this guy said so?
He's not just an ordinary man. Like, he's not from the...
Yo, he's incredibly ordinary. No, he's an ordinary man. No. You worship him.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
a sin.
No, it's not. He's a great man.
You worship another person. That's
So
a sin.
awesome.
It doesn't matter how great he is.
No, I
it's a
don't.
sin.
That's because I don't think I'm God.
You think he is?
No, it's not.
You worship him.
No,
right?
he's
Yeah.
not. He's just a representative.
No, he's not.
Direct representative.
Not any more than you are.
He's like the president has direct representatives.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. If he represents God, so do you in an equivalent way.
No, I don't.
Yes,
so I'm
you
not
do.
qualified.
He neither is he.
No, I'm really not qualified. He's
What
most qualified.
are the qualifications for representing the creation?
Huh?
What are the qualifications? What qualifies a person to
I'm
represent
not
the
qualified
creation?
to speak on the subject matters. It's too elevated.
Neither was he.
It's so elevated.
He's not elevated. He's a mundane person.
I don't understand.
He's just a person, like, you know what I mean? He's just a normal brother.
It was nice meeting you.
You as well?
I'm gonna go eat some food now.
Cool, that's a really good idea.
After I offer it to my group.
Cool.
And then it's gonna be really good.
Okay. I hope it gets me real fucked up,
If I
man.
make it, you gotta get some prashada.
Some prosciutto? The cheese? The meat?
No, you should go for the Sunday feast, 14th of Cherry, 7 p.m.
Oh yeah? Today?
Skip all the meditation stuff.
Yeah.
Sunday at 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Okay.
And just come eat mad dang vegetarian food.
Okay.
That's what you should do. That's like the best medicine for you. Eat some really good food.
But what if it makes me believe in mythology?
I don't care what you believe in. Like I already told you, you believe whatever you want. Like I want you to believe in whatever you want.
Okay.
I just want you to come eat dank food.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, 7th and Cherry?
Yeah. So you're gonna come eat some dank food?
Well, not tomorrow, but is it every Sunday?
Yeah, every Sunday.
I can't get into town, I'm out of town, but one of these days, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you
definitely
come. Bring all your friends too.
Oh, I don't have any friends. But I'm married. I don't have any
Bring your
friends.
wife.
So 7 p.m.? 7 p.m.? 7th and Cherry?
Yeah, you come to the meditation program, but I don't think
And that's before that? No, no, thank you though.
You don't want to come dance in ecstasy?
Well, I mean, I do that alone.
What?
I do that like alone and naked, you know. I don't like it in
Intimate
public.
thing?
What?
It's like an intimate thing?
Yeah. In public, it's
An
kind
intimate, sentimental thing?
of maybe sentimental, not positive,
I'm not very sentimental.
or passionate.
No, I'm pretty passionate. I just try not to be.
Cool.
I try to transcend passion.
Cool. We're going to enjoy your meal. What was your name again?
Johnny.
Johnny. Very good to meet you.
You want to get No, you didn't.
No, thank you there.
Yeah, it's okay.
I appreciate it. Yeah, good luck.
They love these. To be kidding, was like shoving $6 in my hand the other day.
That's good. I like that. It's very difficult
He's like,
that's cool.
It's such a good book. You should really read it though.
It just makes me angry.
Don't read it. Just read it so you're not angry anymore.
But it will continue to be wrong, and that's what makes me angry.
No. There will come to if you keep reading this, it'll purify your consciousness so much. It'll come to a point where you won't be angry.
I know, but it'll still be wrong.
It's just not possible if you read this to be angry.
But it is. I've already.
No, it's not.
I've done it already. It's just wrong, though. It's a wrong
okay.
book.
You can accept that it's wrong, even though it's not.
It is, though.
Just that's you, but just,
so you're saying I'm wrong?
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm saying you. From your perspective,
the book is wrong.
You have an understanding to the level of your ability. You know what I mean? You can't really go past
the level of my ability is further than his because he believed that spirits were real and they're not.
You just think you're God.
No, I don't. Why do you think I think I'm God? What is my evidence? What's your
because
evidence?
we're not the controller.
I'm the controller of me.
You can do what you want.
Yes.
That's good.
I'm the controller.
That doesn't mean we're a controller of our actions.
Yeah.
It
does. Look. Tell me to do something. I'll do it.
Until you drive down the road and somebody hits you with a car.
Right.
That was out of your control.
That was out of my control, but this is under my control.
But we're not the doer.
I am. I'm doing it.
You're driving. You're not doing it.
Yeah, I am. There's no difference. I don't understand. I'm driving.
You don't just activate yourself. You don't just push buttons and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I just go. I just continue. I'm not saying I'm the creator.
You definitely what your reality is created with your mind.
Everyone did that.
Boom. That was a good one.
Right.
You hit that one.
Right.
See, you're not that confused.
Right.
You're just
I'm ahead of your master because
no, you're
I
not.
know
You're far off.
that there's no such thing as spirit, and that's a dark age idea to help people understand reality, and it doesn't. It doesn't help, but it just drives people away from truth.
Modernity and the depersonalization of society.
Spirit mythology
drives people away from
we're not
exploitation of the material modes of nature is driving society away from who they really are.
Believing that you will exist after this life helps you to cheat this life.
But to think that creating big rocket ships is intelligent.
It is intelligent.
It's really not.
What is it?
That's pretty stupid.
But it's difficult.
It's just a waste of resources that could be allocated to
It's a bad idea brought upon by intelligence.
It's more like just using excessive resources unnecessarily.
That's true.
And causing exploiting the world and then people get harmed because of it.
Right, but it requires intelligence.
It affects mass amounts of people in a negative way. That's not intelligence. Because if you were truly intelligent, you wouldn't do these things because you wouldn't want to hurt others.
Right, so that would be
that's a much higher intelligence.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
It's intelligence to an extent, but it's not really that. It's impure.
So that's what I'm saying.
There's limited intelligence.
There's a way of talking to people about spirit, and that's a certain intelligence, but it's a limited intelligence. And when you transcend that, and you recognize that there is no spirit,
the spiritual world, there's no suffering. That's the difference.
Because it's imaginary.
Because it's perfect.
What is perfect?
Spiritual.
No, it's not. There's no perfection in this reality.
Very limited perspective.
No. Yours is you still want to believe.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm
ahead of you. I'm ahead of your guru.
I'm more fallen.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I am more progressed.
Sure. Yeah.
I am ahead of your guru.
My ego is bigger than yours.
Okay. That's alright.
My ego is bigger than yours.
You can have your ego. It's important for the individual to have an ego.
I exploit more than Donald Trump.
I think that's a bold statement. I don't think you have to protect yourself that much.
I'm not condemning myself.
I mean, you're calling yourself an exploiter, a greater exploiter.
I created everything.
But you just accused me previously of pretending that I was God.
You did that too. That's just
Well, I have mapped the whole reality into my mind to understand it. Oh.
Men built these big towers, right?
Yeah.
They start these big wars. So why did they do it? There's one reason why they do it. It's not power.
To further their personal situation and reality.
I thought it was to get their rocks off.
To get their rocks off. Enrich themselves so that their position is better than it was before. Some people.
No, it's all of them. Sex is better.
Well, but if that is the truth, why can't that be what we do then? Why can't we find a system where that is?
Yeah, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Let's just start wars and like.
Why can't we find
just to impress women?
Why can't we find a healthy way to do that then? If that is the thing, if that is our motivation.
Because sex is complicated and degrading.
Degrading? You find sex degrading?
Not always.
Yeah.
But I mean, unrestricted, I feel like it degrades society. Society is very degraded. America wouldn't be in 50 different countries starting wars, 7 different wars.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
If it wasn't for sex society.
That's not what we should do.
It was sex society. They're just trying to impress women.
Which women? Their own women.
Women they want to fuck. For years for money or something.
So what are you eating tonight? What are you having? What's for dinner?
Maybe some avocados. I might smash some avocados with some limes and some cilantro or something.
Nice. Some guacamole?
No, just like some mush guacamole.
Cool.
Free mush.
Well, you have a good night, Johnny. You enjoy yourself. Johnny, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, take care, man.
You got this one?
I did.
Yeah, they're fanatics. They're actually really nice guys.
Yeah, fanatics can be nice guys.
They're really nice guys, though.
It's nice when they're not violent. Fanatics who aren't violent.
I'm pretty good.
Well, I appreciate that you haven't been violent to me, though.
Yeah, I started all these wars.
You don't need to take responsibility for that.
I was told that.
You might have been mistaken a little bit.
My false humility. I'm not really something that.
You can have a good evening. Take it easy.
You should really read this book. So good.
I will. I will read
keep
them some
reading
more.
it. Like keep reading it. And, like get super angry.
Yeah.
But like just keep reading it. Like.
But what if
you read like the whole book every day?
But what if it's false?
Then it's not false.
Okay, but what if it is?
What do you mean?
What if the book is false? You don't believe it is, but what if it is?
You have all these questions that I can't answer.
Well, I know.
Disregard anything I said other than read the books.
Right. But I've read the book.
And come eat food and party with us.
I will. I will definitely
The two
try.
things I said, those are the only important things I said that actually make any sense.
Good. I appreciate you clarifying.
Because anything I have said,
yeah. No, it's cool.
Like, because I don't have the proper intelligence to speak on these high subject matters.
Fair enough. But I do appreciate the invitation to a meal.
This guy is awesome. He's not
crazy.
an ordinary man.
He's wrong.
108 different countries, 70 years old, came from India to America on a steamship, 35 days, 7 days without food, 2 heart attacks. Like homeless, 40 rupees in his pocket.
Sounds like
started a movement in a little over a year that spread throughout the whole entire world.
He didn't start it.
Yeah, he did. He did everything.
Krishna was before him.
You got that right?
Right.
Krishna did everything.
Yeah.
But Krishna empowered him.
Yeah. The Krishna mythology is much
It's not mythology. What's mythology is like modern history books or something.
No.
Like the education system.
Do you believe it's okay to believe in mythology? Is it okay?
I just don't support the educational system
that's
in
okay.
America because it's all bullshit.
Probably.
Because it screws everybody else up and they make them believe that they're God when they're really not.
But
It's like everybody in the world is just about like 99% of the world. It's all just a big
So,
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, it is. I agree. Yeah, we might be able to make it work that way.
No, it's not going to work.
Why not?
No one's who's the dick measuring contest. No one's ever going to be happy.
Why?
Dude, if you're measuring dick, you're not happy. If you're that all up in your head, you're measuring
There have been a few occasions where I've measured my dick, and generally right after them I've had sex. So I've been pretty happy when I've been actually measuring my dick. I mean, in reality, it's kind of pleasurable.
It's like a drop of pleasure when you can have a whole ocean.
I have a whole ocean every day.
This is just a drop. And you're just like fighting for it. It's like,
I'm not fighting for it. I have an agreement with people that I love to have to fight for it. Yeah.
Never mind.
That's alright.
It's not as simple as you think it is.
Reality?
It's much more complicated than
if you believe in spirits, it is.
It's like a drop.
Right.
It's like a drop. It's like a. You know how many chicks I fucking bang? I was a dirty hippie hitchhiking across California, hooking up with like billionaires' daughters, like bad chicks. Like
drop acid and shit.
Drop acid in a fucking box. You know what I'm saying? Like just like squirt.
That sounds like an enjoyable evening.
Just disgusting.
Yeah.
It's such a low pleasure. It's such a perverted. It's not even pure or clean either.
The shaming of
It's just
sexuality is unnecessary.
What do you mean?
Calling it low and dirty.
It kind of is, because like this body is pretty dirty. Like we're filled with blood, guts, pus, and stool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what we are.
Just like we're not. It's gross.
We are that.
Bodies are disgusting.
Why do you hate yourself so much?
I don't hate myself.
You hate your body. Yeah, it is.
I don't hate the body. I actually take care of this body. I eat
Good.
really healthy.
You describe it.
I really appreciate it. It's not mine.
It is yours.
It's a really disgusting body.
It's all that is yours.
Like, so if somebody got hit by the car and like their guts were flying everywhere and like bile was everything, that's not gross.
Well, it's traumatic.
Disgusting, right?
Yeah.
It's not really, it's traumatic.
When it's all turned inside out.
It's not really traumatic for me, so I don't really get hung up on it.
Man, I do.
I don't really care what people do.
Because you believe that death is not real.
I mean,
death is real.
you got that right.
No, I can cure you of that.
Smart man.
No, death is real. Death is a thing that happens.
That's such a like a Christian thing to say, you know what I mean?
I'm not a Christian though.
No, I know, but like that's such like a medieval thing to think though, you know what I mean?
No, the medieval people believed in ghosts.
What?
They believed in spirits that went to heaven. They didn't believe that death was real. They believed it was a transition.
Heaven's just heaven's just like another planet in the material universe. Like it's like super opulent and like mango trees and like mangoes are
Heaven like is an illusion in the mind of those that are dying.
That's pretty much what you described where you wanted to go.
I want to go here.
No, you said the spaghetti planet or whatever?
Yeah, with strippers.
Yeah, that's basically what a heavenly planet's like.
I don't believe
that subterranean heavenly planet.
Subterranean.
Yeah. No, but like that's pretty much what you described.
Well,
there's planets like that in the material universe.
But
if you desire that planet, you'll go to that planet.
No, because there's nothing after this. After I die, there's no more me.
All right, I guess you're not going to go to your.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
Nobody's going to go anywhere. This is where we live.
I think I'm starting to feel sick talking about this Mayabot's philosophies.
I understand.
You should come party with us though.
Well, it sounds like
would you see me just act like you didn't even ever meet me?
Why would I do that?
Just do that. Because they're gonna be like, fed you a bunch of lies.
Alright.
I kind of didn't, but like, no, I'm just not. I get in trouble a lot at the temple.
At the temple?
Yeah, so just don't bring, like, act like you just didn't even know, like,
we'll do.
or something.
We'll do.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
I'll get friends. No, they're really friendly.
Except for the flogging.
No.
There's no flogging.
It's just above your head.
It's just sarcastic.
Something you don't want to get involved with.
Flogging? You don't know me.
I don't know if I wasn't talking about flogging.
I might be into flogging. You don't know that.
You don't want to get involved with Chelsea.
I don't know.
You might want to get involved.
Yeah.
So you're getting hurt.
Take it easy. See you soon, man.
You should read this book.
I will read it. I promise. I'll read some more. And I will.
You should read it to your wife.
I'll let her read it.
Hey, if you didn't eat meat, fish, eggs for like a week, right?
Yeah.
And you had no sex or ejaculation for a week, right?
Right.
And no drugs, alcohol, caffeine, or anything for like a week, right?
Okay.
Cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
And read this book.
Thank you.
6 hours a day, every day for a week, right?
Okay.
Do you try that?
I don't.
Like, it's a scientific experiment. You know what I mean?
Yes. What do you project will happen? What is your?
You'll have an experience.
I've had experiences.
Great. So, but like a different one now.
Okay.
So, if you do this scientific method, let me know what your results are.
Cool. And you'll pray to Flying Spaghetti Monster. And tell me if you get any results.
So, like, it's a scientific test.
Exactly. I believe in science.
Okay, so try it then.
I will.
You'll try it. You won't do any of that.
I will do it. I will do it for as long as I can stand it. Yes. Here you are. Thank you.
Vegetarian, dairy,
eggs.
No eggs. Just avoid the eggs.
And no sex.
No sex. You can eat like rice. You can eat like beans.
Okay.
You can eat like vegetables.
And I have to read for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, 6 hours a day from that book you have.
That's a lot of hours work. You're going to do the same work?
Do your best.
I'll do it.
Do your best to read 6 hours a day.
Alright, and if I get no experience, that means that your guy right there is false.
No, it's real.
But if I get no experience...
Oh, yeah. He's real.
But if I don't get an experience, he's not.
Just take the medicine and see what happens.
Okay.
Just read this book, or you could just read this book for 24 hours straight and just fast completely and just do nothing but read this book for 24 hours straight.
I bet
that's a good scientific test.
Right, but I bet it would work with any book.
You should do it before the sun rises, though.
For 24 hours before the sun rises?
Just start at like 4 in the morning and start reading this book. Okay. And then fast until fast till like 10 o'clock at night. Go to bed. Rinse and repeat for like 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could
I'll do it with
fast water,
and then I'll do
maybe drink a little water while you read. Maybe eat some broccoli or something.
And then I'll do the same thing with the Bible and see if there's a different experience.
I mean, I don't know why you'd want to read the Bible.
Scientific to compare it as a control.
You can. That's fine.
Cool.
The thing about the Bible is
It's full of lies.
Well, no, it's just like that men have taken it and rewritten it so many times that
What do you think you're handling right there?
This is an original.
No.
This is an original.
It is not. Show me the guy on the back. It is him explaining the Vedas to you. The whole point is he's telling you what the Bhagavad Gita said. It's him translating.
He's got the whole Bhagavad Gita as it is in there too at the same time.
And he's telling you
but if you read the Bhagavad Gita and you just read the transliteration, it's exactly how it was thousands of years ago.
Yeah, but you don't know what it means because you don't understand the language, and he tells you what it means. The thing that you just accused the Bible of, he's guilty of.
No, he's not. Just take the test. You'll see
I will,
that I'm right.
but I'm going to compare it to the Bible, and it's going to give me the same experience.
I don't
In
know.
the Quran, it will give me the same experience.
But if I don't,
But Flying Spaghetti Monster will give you a different experience. He'll show you truth. He'll show you that spirit is mythology.
I don't know.
He'll show you that your time here is
So
meaningful.
are you gonna?
And then I'll come some Sunday.
I'm gonna make some spaghetti for Krishna.
Cool. Go have fun.
Avocado.
Have a good day, dude.
So, 24 hours. I'll see you. Okay.
Yes, you'll see me. Be good. The One True Cult, do join today. The One True Cult, please do join.
there's only one God, my friend.
I know I
His name
can.
is Jesus Christ.
No, I can cure you of that. Do you got time? I can cure you. You can give up the Bible today. You don't have to be a blood cultist. Yeah, there is. Jesus lied to you. If he lied to you, would you give it up? If Jesus lied, would you give it up? Okay, I hear what you said. Now listen to what I've asked. If he lied, would you give it up?
I don't know.
That's a good answer. My YouTube information's here. Please do check me out. I appreciate your honesty. Because if he did lie to you, he's a fraud.
Right.
Right. You should stop.
He was either a crazy person, he was either the greatest con man who ever lived.
I think Joseph Smith's better than him.
Maybe. I mean, Joseph Smith's probably a knockoff con
Jesus
man.
Christ never made any money. Joseph Smith got too
Fair
late.
enough.
Yeah.
Or he was who he said he was.
Right.
And
Right.
if he was who he said he was,
But if he did anything imperfect, he's not who he said he was.
what did he do imperfect?
He made his mother cry.
Why is that imperfect? I mean, when he was...
Would you be perfect if you made your mother cry? Here's another one. He never learned to write.
She was his earthly mother. So what is...
Would he be
Doing
more or less
what?
perfect if he wrote down his own scripture? Would that make him more or less perfect?
I don't know. He is the word of God, according to the Bible.
So are you. You're a prophet.
Word
You're a prophet of God as well. You need to stop listening to him and you need to start saying your scripture.
I don't have scripture, my friend.
You do. And it's worth saying and it's worth us hearing.
If he's God,
Yes.
and he made me,
Yes.
then I'm accountable to him, not the other way around.
Why?
Because he made me.
Are my
The
children...
creation is not greater than the creator.
Why not? Why can't it be equal?
Because it's like he's the source. And so what comes from him is not surpass him.
If he's the source of good, why is not? He's also the source of evil.
Because he's wholly good.
But he's
in
not.
Him is
But he's not wholly good because he's done evil.
no, he hasn't.
He's murdered.
No, he's not murdered.
He's killed.
Who?
The God of the Old Testament.
Okay, well, there's a difference between murder and killing.
Is there?
I think so.
And your God thinks so as well. My God doesn't think so.
Like if I kill someone in self-defense, that's different than me
It is
murdering
different.
someone.
And that's what you just said there is kind of against what Christ said. Just to be clear, that's sort of unbiblical. Christ said even murder in your mind is equivalent.
He said to hate your brother is the same as murder.
Right, and then he also told you to hate your brother.
No, he
Yeah, you want me to get the scripture? He said, hate
Yeah.
your mother. Those that do not hate their mother do not hate their brother.
No, hang on.
You don't know that one? If you don't hate your mother, you don't hate your father, your brother, your sister in my name, then you cannot be my disciple.
I think he was saying, you love those people more than me, then that's the problem.
Right, but he used the word hate, didn't he?
I don't know.
It's your God preaching hate, and it's okay because all you got to do is check to see if he's perfect. Like I understand, I also was raised Christian, and I know where you're coming from. And the answer is, if he's imperfect, I believe you'll give him up. And when you go and you look deep and deep into it, what happened, where the scripture came from, who wrote
It's
it.
really easy to take things out of context and say like, oh, he's telling you to hate your mom. I don't think he's saying that.
But it's really easy also to take things out of context and forgive someone that you want to be perfect. That's also very easy.
But I don't think I need to forgive him because he's forgiven me.
What if he was racist?
He's not racist.
Yeah, sure he was.
He said, my temple should be called a house of worship for all nations.
What if he
for
was,
all people.
What if he treated
so the
women
Jews
unequally? What if
he didn't. Okay,
He didn't treat women differently from men?
okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah. Did he believe in
So who are the
slavery?
first people to find the empty tomb?
It depends which gospel you read.
Mary
Or
and her friend, and then they go and tell the disciples.
could be Mary alone. Could be a
Okay,
couple
but
of
anyways,
ladies that have no name.
Who's gonna in a culture that oppresses women,
Yeah.
the ancient Israelites?
Why did Paul tell the
Who's
slaves
gonna-
to obey their masters? Why didn't Paul say God doesn't believe in slavery?
Well,
Your
there
gospel's
was a thing-
imperfect.
there was
You
a
can
thing-
do better.
there's a thing.
We can iterate the gospel of Christ. It's our
There's
turn.
a willing slavery.
Yeah, but that's not what they're talking about in the New Testament.
I think it is.
They're not talking about owning the Israelite slaves. But do you believe that indentured servitude is moral? Do you believe that even the idea of owning another person can be moral? Do you really believe that?
I don't.
You
And
think it was contextual?
I don't think that,
because your
it was
morality,
contextual to
your
that.
personal morality is better than the morality of the people in the Bronze Age, which is where the scriptures
True.
come from. Yeah.
And that's not just because those people were doing those things doesn't mean that that's the way that God wanted them to do it.
Kind of it does if they are saying they had clearer revelation than you. Kind of it does if they're saying that they had
can
personal
say that,
communication
but then they
with God.
miss the Messiah entirely.
If Moses was mythology, would that disprove the book? Is Moses never
Like,
really
if
lived?
It was, yeah.
If the Hebrews were not in Egypt? If the flood's mythology?
I don't know about that. Like, I mean, I could see those things. Like, there's always that argument of like, oh yeah, there's just moral stories, things to with a lesson and a proverb and all that kind of stuff. But I tend to believe that they did actually happen. That Moses was a real person. And that,
Do you? Okay.
like,
I appreciate your honesty and your things here, and I'm not trying to just pick apart what you're saying. I'm just trying to make some points that
I enjoyed the conversation.
Good.
I really
I'm
do.
very glad, and I appreciate your time. I really do. So I'm not trying to antagonize you. But would you agree that if the biblical understanding of creation is mythological, would you agree that it's an important thing to understand? If it was literal or if it's mythological, that's an important thing to get right.
Sure, but I don't think it's
But
like.
if we're incorrect about that, we're misunderstanding reality a little, to our own detriment.
I mean, there's the argument that Genesis is like it's a poetic, it's a narrative kind of telling, and like honestly, like
Because Job is.
if it came, well,
right? Because in the beginning it says Job of the land of Uz is a perfect man, right? And so it's like here's a story, right?
I don't think that was meaning that he had never sinned, but that he trusted God for his righteousness, and in God's sight that he was blameless and upright.
But do you think that Satan could convince God to treat a human that way to prove a point? Don't you think that's more parabolic?
Satan could convince God to do anything.
Right, so that story...
God could allow Satan to do those things, absolutely.
Right, but...
Satan could go up to him and be like, hey God, I'm gonna
But
mess with
we
you.
don't talk about Lot's parents. We don't talk about Lot's children. He's sort of taken out of context, and so. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Lot. Job. Have I been talking about Lot this whole time? I mean Job.
Job, yeah.
Okay. We don't talk about who Job is related to, other than his kids that he gets, but we don't put him into sort of the timeline.
But I mean, you don't really know about Abraham's parents.
A little bit. Abraham is, what's his name? Terah, is it? Abram's
And
father
from-
was
from
Terah, like T-E-R-A-H.
Oh yeah. I think.
Yeah, but other than that, we were told that they were both Hebrew. I think is sort of the beginning of that story.
I think they're from Babylon.
Right. But they're identified for some reason as Hebrew. I'm not sure what. But if the Old Testament is instead of the books of Moses, instead they were a creation after the Babylonian captivity. If that's true, that contextualizes it without throwing away the beauty of the works, right? That these are ancient, like Proverbs, for example, the book of Proverbs, or Psalms, ancient poetries and songs by people who are doing what we were doing, attempting to understand our place in this thing. But to afford them revelation that you don't afford them yourself, specifically because your morality is very good, yours, the one that you decided to develop in your lifetime, in your head.
No, but I know the wickedness of my own heart. And like,
And you choose not to.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Alright, what's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron, I very much appreciate your time. I'm Mitch. You've got my card?
Yes.
I please do hope you look up some of my videos. I appreciate your candor. This is, I often don't get to have conversations. Yeah. No, because I was a believer in Christ.
Yeah.
And
what changed?
The major thing was I was raised Mormon, and you can discount that if you want.
Sure.
But the major thing was when I realized I couldn't raise my daughter Mormon, that I couldn't let it do to my daughter what I had let it do to me, and my wife had let it do to her. That I felt an instinct to protect my daughter from this idea. And so at that time I started questioning things, and it started to unravel, and unfortunately all the way down. And I could call myself an atheist, but that doesn't really explain how I feel about the community of the idea, the religion. I enjoyed growing up religious with a large family and a large community, a love of music and things like this. And so I consider myself still religious, even though I believe that the scriptures that we have given to us are not fraudulent, but we want them to be more than they intended to be, perhaps. And so I feel that, and I feel that the gospel of Jesus Christ is a bit irresponsible. I feel that in the way that a person makes restitution for their sin through God, instead of, and they give the sin away. If that movement of Jesus Christ has my sin, I feel, is the movement of irresponsibility. But the cure with
Personal irresponsibility.
yeah, the personal, like I am capable of murder, and if I were to be brought to a point where I can't control myself and I commit this crime, I don't believe there is any way to give that sin to someone else. I think that the blood atonement is sort of an ancient idea that
No doubt.
yeah, it's an ancient idea that we might
From the
not.
beginning.
Yes, right. But it's also perhaps barbaric in that same way, and perhaps we can.
I mean, I guess what I've always been taught is that God takes sin very seriously.
Yeah.
Is maybe we don't. I mean, obviously, oftentimes we don't. But God's perfect, right? Or should be, like, ideally.
I'm not sure about that. What if God could be imperfect? What if we are created by an imperfect God? What if instead of God needing to be only holy, what if it is the Creator that created the flaw? What if this is an evil and good place created by an evil and good God?
Could be. And I've heard that. I forgot what it's called. Like
malevolent or benevolent or multivalent. Yeah. I very much like your shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's one of I was 8 when that came out. It's a good year, very good year. Yeah.
First game I ever played too.
It's very good. Yeah.
Okay, take it just like, let's say that God is perfect.
Okay.
And if he is perfect, then theoretically anything imperfect cannot exist in his very presence.
But so what you're saying then is that we are out of his presence now. And this is hell.
No.
What's the difference?
Well, hell, I think hell, there's like, I think 2 kind of things. Like, there's the eternal judgment, the lake of fire, which I think is different than hell. And then there's what's called Sheol, or the grave, where Abraham's bosom, or like when Jesus tells the story about Lazarus, the rich man, and they're both in this place, separated by a chasm, and the rich man cries out to Lazarus, give me a dip of water. Anyways, and then when Jesus died, he descended into the belly of the earth, as Jonah did in the belly of the whale, and then he led captivity captive. So like, before the coming of Jesus, there was this place, Sheol, which had perhaps 2 compartments, one for the righteous dead, one for the unrighteous dead. And the unrighteous dead are still there, but the righteous dead, the Old Testament saints, so to speak, have been brought up to heaven. And now, when a righteous person dies, now they just can be active with the bodies because of the unrighteous person goes there and awaits eternal judgment. So like the end of everything when God judges mankind, and then Satan and his demons are cast into the lake of fire.
Do you think that, and the unrepentant, like some of us can expect a lake of fire as well? Do you think any of us can expect oblivion, just to not
Nothing.
exist?
I believe that we're all eternal souls. Every person is made in the image of God.
That we pre-existed this state, yeah? Do you believe that?
I think, well, it says he knew you before the foundations of
There
the
are
world.
there are a lot of Mormon ideas, a lot of things that you believe that Mormons also believe, that pre-existence of souls and things like
I don't
this.
know about pre-existence. I mean,
But-
like, I think you came into being when God
Inevitability.
created you. But
Do
he
you
knew
believe that God
before
created Satan?
Yeah.
Why doesn't God get created or credit for the evil of Satan if he chose to create?
Well, because God holds people responsible for their own choices.
But God chose to create Satan.
But he didn't create him.
To be evil? Yeah, he sure did.
Well, he created him.
To be exactly the adversary? And what? So he was
I imagine.
surprised when that
I
happened?
don't want to say surprised.
I think that the God of the Bible tries to be irresponsible for the evil that he does. I believe that the murders at the flood were evil.
Certainly.
If the flood is real, I think that murdering all the one family is an evil act.
Well, if the people were evil,
What were they doing?
but it said that
Are we
everyone.
more evil?
It said everyone on the earth, all their thoughts were all evil all the time. That's what it said.
Yeah, that's not true then, right?
That's-
Like it's
I mean,
a story.
Well,
It can't be possible that.
can it not? I mean, you look at
Do-
the depravity of humankind as a whole.
Of the most evil person around here, do you think all his thoughts are evil?
So maybe things were worse then than they are now.
Can't be. We're capable of so much more evil nowadays.
Well, we're capable. I think things would get worse.
They were so primitive back then, they were practically innocent.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there's an edge to simplicity.
There was.
In either way.
There was a black and white God in the Old Testament times, and our God is more nuanced than that. He must have nuance the further we get into the future.
Well, I think he's the same still.
He's not. He used to murder.
He's made.
He promised. He felt regret. He repented.
I don't know if he felt regret.
He put a sign in the sky that he would never do it again.
True.
It's a
He
father
was
coming
spraying
into
with
your
water.
room drunk and beating you up and saying, "That's the last time, I promise." That's repentance. God of the
I
Old
think it's
Testament
different
is perfect.
in God's
You make a lot of exceptions to keep your God perfect.
I don't know, but like, okay, if God is truly God, then, and He is good, let's just say that.
Only good.
Yeah. Then
Yes.
He has to punish sin, right?
Right.
He has to be just.
Yeah. But it would be just to take credit for His creation. He created Satan.
Well, and I think He did. And He allows Satan, like Satan's got a pretty long leash, as I guess you could say.
God chooses the length of the leash every day.
And I
It's
think
His choice.
what Satan intends for evil, God can use for good.
He's still going to send everyone to hell.
I don't think He's going to send everyone to hell, no.
What percent of humans living now are going to make it?
No idea. But it does say that
I believe that all of us are going the same place. All can be saved.
people of every tribe, tongue, and nation. There will be there. I mean, in Revelation, they are there in every, praising the Lord. Multitude.
What if that sounds like prison?
Adios, Byron. Prison. I mean, well, it's like it's in one sense, like Paul would say, you're a slave to sin, or you can be a slave to Christ.
I don't believe that. I believe there are free men.
But what are you free to do or not do? I mean,
I'm free to be myself, an individual, equal, as I was created. An individual, co-individual with God.
I wish that wasn't true.
yeah, I mean, that's why He created us, is to have relationship with Him.
Like my children, I don't need them to be subservient to me after they become adults. My children are invited to be co-equal.
But there's still a relationship, like where you're the parent and they're the child, like you're responsible for them, guide for them.
After a certain age, that's gone.
It's true.
After a certain age, it's over. They're equal.
But they're humans as you are humans. But you're a human and God is not a human. There's a transcendent factor about Him.
I don't believe that God would need. I don't believe a good God requires worship. I don't believe any good God requires worship. Here's my YouTube information if you would like to know.
But so I've asked she's my wife.
I understand that. I think she's ready. I do appreciate you stopping though.
I lead worship at a church.
Good.
So I've asked that question a lot of times.
Yeah.
Who is God to demand that we worship Him?
Mm-hmm.
Like God seems kind of egotistical, right?
A little bit, like a narcissist.
Yeah. And if He was a human, like we'd absolutely be like, oh, I'm sorry. Peace off. Like
right.
You don't deserve this. But what if God actually does deserve it?
Then why?
If He actually is worthy of more worship than we could give Him.
Yeah. Then He would forgive us not understanding that.
I think He does. He gives us a lot of forgiveness and a lot of grace.
Not enough to save us all though. Not enough.
I think entirely enough.
Out of these 100 people, out of these 1,000 people, most will burn. Most of these people.
That's really hard to say. But
I can't picture any of them burning. I would get in between a God that would burn any of them. I would tell him no.
But like His judgments, like He could kill all of us and it would be righteous, right?
How do you
because
decide?
We have evil.
Did He just because He tells you? He says. We've got to judge
God
His
in my
behavior.
in my own life, God has proven Himself faithful and good to me.
Why do you give Jesus the credit for what's happened in your life? Why Jesus and not Allah?
Well, I haven't really studied Allah very much, but
that's the argument of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Is when we look at things to support our position, confirmation bias is very difficult to overcome.
Yeah, but I mean, no other God got off His throne to pay my penalty. Like no other God died for me.
I like the story. If that's what you're saying, I like the story of Christ, and I like that. Except for the blood part, I think that at the time I think it fits in very well with what's going on in sort of that area. But I think that in the world today, that sort of the violence that is inherent in our very old systems should be addressed, and I feel that if we whole
So like
scripture.
a slap on the wrist instead of sin equals death.
Well, they use very, very aggressive language. If you don't hate your family, then you can't be my disciple. It's very superlative or flowery, right? And it's sort of a lot of people are taking.
He said a lot of Jesus was a.
And the Quran is much
rash
more.
dude.
Yes, and the Quran is also a similar thing, very violent, and it draws people to violence. And
Yeah,
this
but
is,
Jesus said, "Love your neighbor." He said
a lot of things.
He did. He said you can't hate your brother and love God.
And he said, "Sell your coat and buy a sword." Like, it really depends. A person can get the message they want out of it. It's so true.
There's so many things. Yeah, you can take.
Crusades
and you
were
can
justified by that. I'm not saying you are a crusader. I'm saying despicable behavior can be justified by
No doubt.
any of our scripture.
And I think some of the worst atrocities in human history have been committed in the name of God.
This, yeah,
And
that
I
we
think-
need to be sure that our religion can't be used to do that. And my religion's got an expiry date. If you're a member of this cult in 40 years, you've missed the point, right?
Yeah.
This living religion can save us. Our turn to iterate, sort of, is mine.
I think religion is one of the greatest tools of the enemy.
Yeah.
To keep people from knowing God.
Yeah, for control and to just keep people homogenized, not.
Well, I mean, if you can think that that God wants me to kill you, and then that's righteous, and I'll be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Like you can bribe a person, you can tempt a person, but if the person believes that what they're doing is right, then that's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah. And so that's the point, is because we're Americans and we're allowed to believe what we want, and we believe in the First Amendment right to have these conversations right here in the street. This is where these conversations can happen. We need to be aware of how these ideas can be abused, and just really be looking out for those cases. And it is nice to live in a safe society like this. And generally I don't need my fellow Christians to, or my Christian brothers to denounce what they're saying, just what we're trying to do. Sorry. So my apologies. Startled easily.
Where are you at?
That's always something interesting happening.
There is. Unfortunately, sometimes it's me, so just to make sure I'm not pissing anybody off. But no, because that is what we're trying to do, is to coexist and to have all of our opinions on the table, and the conversation is what it's about. It's not about being right. It's about the space to have the argument and to agree about where the lines are, like how far into politics should religion go and things like that. And so that's one of the things that we're doing as a cult, is we're talking about the Ten Commandments monument on public land in front of the Capitol right there, and sort of maybe thinking about moving it or having a rebuttal monument next to it with sort of another sort of thing. And so that's where we want the conversation to continue in, like, that way. And so yeah, I like to be in a nation, heathen nations with Christians. I like that a lot, but I hope that we can agree that it's not a Christian nation, that we are Christians in a heathen nation.
Well, I'd say even a world.
Yeah. And so yeah, I do appreciate that. If you, like I said, my YouTube is on there. If you want me to come down, I've been thinking about having sort of question and answer things in different congregations around the Denver area. I've been doing this for a couple of years. This sort of what our argument is about, and if anyone, because we're not atheists, though we share a lot in common with them, but we do want a part of the conversation. We're not trying to mock or ridicule. We're trying to sort of mirror sort of the behaviors that we find that maybe we can talk about. That sort of idea. We're not. I do get accused a lot of mocking, and I do look for street preachers who are being rather boisterous and saying very sort of aggressive ideas, and sort of to mirror that behavior. That it's not. Yeah, it is. Everyone can feel self-righteous like this, and everyone feels inside that they understand God, and so it's pretty much everyone has sort of a unique perspective on that, and that's what I mean. Is everyone? We all have our own scriptures, and the sharing of them will bring us close to truth quickly, I believe.
Well, I hope so.
I hope so too. I have a lot to hope for. There's a lot of signs that perhaps it's too late for some ideas, and we're going to burn the planet, or there's going to be a war and things like that. But I just keep having hope that together, as a family, we all can figure it out. And I think that we can. I think we're getting closer as time moves on.
Well, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I very much appreciate your time.
What was your name again?
Mitch.
Mitch.
Yeah, and you are?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, very good to meet you. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your lovely day.
You too.
And we'll continue this online, I hope.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
Take care.
See you.